cut right through them. See, this is called a snorkel kit. After 1950, all the vehicles that came off the assembly line were waterproof. They waterproofed the spark plugs, the wires, and the distributors. This goes to the waterproof air cleaner, this pipe, and the exhaust pipe goes up about 6 feet, and this vehicle could go into water up to 5.5 feet and still run. Everything was waterproof but the driver. Yep. Yeah, over here, this is called the Weasel. Studebaker made these 1941 to 45. These are a lot of fun to drive too. It's like a little tank, and it has the same controls as a tank. It has two arms. When you pull the left arm, the left track locks up, and it'll make a left turn, and the same with the right handle. This has a 230 cubic inch flathead Studebaker motor in it. And if you look at your history books, Battle of the Bulge, you'll see the weasels coming in and out of the Ardex forest, which stretches across the back, bringing out the wounded and dead men. So that played a big part in World War II. This is an M37. They made these 1950 to 68. If anybody collects military vehicles, they definitely have an M37. The Dodge brothers, 1950 to 68, almost made 600,000 of these. They're all over the place. Hey, you come around the turn here. This is World War II medic equipment. In fact, all the blood stains are still on the operating tools. I got these tools about 20 years ago. And I tried to get the blood stains out with Nevadel, chrome polish, and steel wool, and it wouldn't come out. And now I'm happy I didn't because it makes everything more authentic. Okay, this is the M2 half-track. Look at the condition I got it in. Take a look at this picture. This is one step from the junkyard. See that? Yeah, back then I was married, and my wife goes, "You paid $600 for that?" I said, "Yeah, and another $500 to deliver it." But she didn't realize how rad these are, you know. But look how nice it looks now. What do you think?
That's pretty great. I just love how accurate the whole thing about with all the moving parts on it. Because we have strikers now.
Yeah.
4 differentials, 8 drive shafts.
Oh,
It
wow.
really- yeah, that thing sucks.
Yeah, but everything's probably made a lot better now.
Still breaks down every Monday.
Oh, it breaks down a lot?
Every Monday.
Oh, yeah.
Only on Mondays because that's when we do the PMCS.
Okay, you're looking at the
You know, bad it
flags?
sucks going to the
Yeah, come around the turn
It's
here.
120 degrees with no AC.
Hey, this is my flag room. I forgot to tell you. I have a flag from every country in the world. Anybody know how many countries? You can take a guess.
120.
Nope.
167.
Nope.
320.
No. 196. There's 196 countries since yesterday.
It's just
Yeah, I got a flag from every country in the world. Okay, this is the early half track, and that's the late half track. Right away, you can tell the difference when you look at an early half track, because the early half tracks have WLA Harley-Davidson headlights on them. See that? And then 1943 to 45, they came out with the blackout lights for the half tracks. This is the paratrooper's bicycle. See, they come apart with a wing nut. See in the middle? In fact, one day, if I remember, I'm going to take one apart to show people. And see, you push this lever down and the handlebars fold in half. And then each paratrooper could take a piece of the bicycle, put it on his chest, and jump out of the airplane. Last week, I had a lady say, "Why don't they put it on their back and jump out of the airplane?" And I said, "How's the parachute going to open?" You know, she didn't think of that. That's the 1943 original parachute that goes with that uniform. See that? Yeah, back then they had a switchblade they kept in their top right pocket. They used the switchblade in World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. If they get caught in the trees or the wires, they could reach up, push the button, open a blade, cut the ropes, hit the ground.
They still do. It's on right here.
Oh, yeah?
Air Force.
Good. Yeah, this is a special tweed rope they only made for 3 years. See that? This is the Colt 1911 45, which was designed in 1917. And this is the M7 fighting knife. And that's the M1 carbine with the folding stock. And my history book says the Germans used to say, "Here come the devils from the sky with baggy pants." Yeah, this is the Marine uniform. The Marine bicycle, and those are the, see, these are steel-toed jump boots. Anybody know what this roller's for? Want me to tell you what the roller's for?
Mine.
All over mines.
Now, well, the Abram tank and all that, you know, these days, it's pushed out about 12 feet, and that's for landmines. But back then, let's say the vehicle is advancing at night, which most of them did, and the whole front end falls into the enemy trench. The tracks would push the roller to the other side of the trench, pick up the front end. The front wheels would catch because it has a differential like four-wheel drive, and a half track could jump a span up to 5.5 feet. That was a pretty smart idea. Yeah. Okay, we're going to come around the turn here, and I'll show you the command cars like General Patton and Eisenhower rode in. We're almost done. Another hour. 89. Yeah, I want to get. I'm pretty close. Airplane. Yeah, I do all this with my own money. Yeah. You know what an airplane costs?
I have time.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to find a rich girl. Let me hit the lights off here. Okay, that vehicle right there, they only made 320 of them, 1941 to 42. That's called a half ton. I have 9 of them. You can tell right away with the beehive. It's called a beehive, grill. And they used these vehicles when they didn't have an ambulance. They used them for an ambulance or radio command vehicles. That's the World War II ambulance right over there. Okay, this is the mule. This is pretty special. This is one of 1,000. Only the first 1,000 had front and rear steering. But back then, the GIs, the Marines and all them were young kids, 18, 19, 20 years old, and they always used to hot rod these around, and they flip over real easy. So the U.S. government, the Army didn't want any more rear steering. So this is one of 1,000. Okay, over here, these are the command cars, like General Patton and Eisenhower rode it. We can hear the range. Yeah, come around the turn here. These are pretty rare. You're probably, for sure in town here, you won't see another one. Okay, this is 1941 to 42, the half-ton command car. 1943 to 45, the Dodge brothers made the vehicles lower and wider with the next size 700 series tires on it. There was over 1,100 generals in World War II in the Pacific and the Atlantic theater, but these 5 always stand out in all the history books. Every history book just about you pick up, you'll see one of these generals in there. Yeah, this is Omaha Bradley. Everybody knows Eisenhower. That's MacArthur, General Patton, and Howland Smith. See that? General Patton, he died. He was in a car accident. He died December 21st, 1945. 9 days before that, he was in a 1938 Cadillac limousine going on a hunting trip in Lexington, France, and his driver went head-on 40 miles an hour into a deuce and a half. They always thought it was suspicious, planned, but they can never prove anything. That's General Patton's dog. His name is Willie. See that?
There's a bull terrier.
Anything you guys want to know, just ask me. I know more than your local history teacher. In fact, if I ever get fired here from Dragon Bands, I could probably be a teacher.
I'm a teacher.
Okay, follow me. Yeah, both of these command cars have the original radios in them.
It's Jabber.
These are M37s. See, the vehicles with the license plates are normally the ones in a couple of months. November 11th, I put in the Veterans Parade town. Are you from town? Oh, you ever go to the Veterans Parade? Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I get a lot of.
I can go
help
at the top.
on Peterson Air Force, Base River, and Fort Carson. For that one day, I'm the general. Yeah. It takes 3 hours to get this stuff out of here, and then we get a police escort from here to the parade. That's more fun than the parade, and back, and then we have a party, And then they help me put everything away. It takes all day. Yeah.
I'm dead.
Hey, this here's my mom's memorial. My mom and dad are in the museum. That's where they wanted to be. They didn't want to be buried. You bury somebody, they're forgotten. So I told my mom, her name was Edith, that everybody that comes by here will see her memorial. This is my mom and dad. Her name was Edith, and then Kermit. He was a corporal in the Army Air Corps. It wasn't called the Army Air Force until 1948. And look how nice that wedding dress is. They don't make them like that anymore. Now they're made in China and only good for one wedding. Yeah, this was me when I was born. That's me about 3 or 4 years old. And that's me in Brooklyn, New York on my pedal car learning how to drive. See that? These were the last clothes she was wearing. I had a mannequin made with her face. See that? And my dad's memorial, he's around the other side. He was a bombardier over Germany in the P-17 bombers. I don't keep them together because they always fight. Yeah. So her name was Edith. She was a nurse in World War II. Yeah. Okay. Okay, this is a Vietnam era hospital tent. You can come over here, you can see more. You don't get any more realistic than this. All the operating light would have worked off the M4.